Hey there, gamers. Welcome back to Cryptic Gaming. I hope you guys have been having a wonderful week. So, Seasonal Journey and Faction Wars, we're going to go over some of that here in this video today. So, when it comes to the Seasonal Journey, there's a few things you're going to want to know. We are in a contested area, so we're going to kind of have to keep an eye out what we've got here. But Seasonal Journey, real fast while we're here, it's going to be locked in behind a lot of your basic Smuggler Pass operations. So I do recommend going to this Seasonal Journey first thing. I'm sitting at 62 Smuggler points having ran through this thing. So this is, in my opinion, the fastest way to at least get the ship out of the pass, guys. Now, when you first start off, you're going to have a few basic missions that'll be found over there at the trading post where you choose a side, whether that's DMC or Campaign Royale. Once you complete those missions, you'll move on to the next sect, which is hidden behind your sea monsters and things like that, the different sea monsters. So you're going to need your buoys. Then you're going to have your bosses and stuff as well, be like Lepest, the Hubok twins, etc. And then when you get to these final stages to get to the stage 2, you're going to have to do a level 20 Lepest up here to get opened up for your mortar, your torpedoes, and of course your sea fire. And then you have to do Vikram to open up the spring loader, the demi cannons, and the ballista bolts. And then to open up the rocket boost, you have to do Wolves Hollow. This one was giving me some issue, kept completing it, but it wouldn't complete here. So at the behest of one of our Discord groups, it was my third try anyway. They said to make sure I try to open it whenever we're still in Wolvenholme, to wait till it to bring me back to the normal mode, and it worked that time. So either third time was the charm, or it's because we went ahead and completed this one while we were still in Wolvenholme area, where they take you to run a fort. We'd completed the fort, but initiated it there, and it was able to complete the rest. But there's obviously an issue there because it's still showing as 97% complete when it's 100%. So we know that there's something there. Faction Wars. This is pretty simple stuff. You will earn 10 war assets a day is how many you can earn. Now, when we're talking about war assets, I'm not talking about the points that are going. We're talking about what you can buy. So when you come over here to view your rewards, you have a reward tree here. We bought up to the first 10. Everything we earn now is going toward rank on the area, the territories we're running. We cannot open up to level 20 until next week. At Battle Period 2 is when number 11 is going to start opening. So this will be locked in to keep you engaged. Every week you'll have something that you can run. So that's where we're at. That's how you're going to run that. Now, you have a few things. It'll show like some different, based off of the tiers that you run, if you've reached certain ranks within a community and stuff like that, or within your territory, you'll start earning a lot of this stuff apparently. So at least that's what it seems to be. And then of course we're going to have your victory reward. This is what, if you win the end of the war, if your side wins, you're going to win that uniform. I'm not impressed with it. 10,000 pieces of 8 in that uniform, 5,000 if your team doesn't win, and that's fine with me. I don't really care, mainly because I just, you look like Captain Crunch. I mean, it looks like Captain Crunch up there. That's just me. Now, you may be wondering, how do I make it so my team is winning? So that's where I'm at now. So there is an event here. It's called a War Cargo. We can go over, we can pop this. It starts in 3 minutes. You'll pick that up and you'll deliver it to a location, just as you do with Cutthroat Cargo and just as you do with Helm Wagers and stuff like that. Works the exact same way. It's just a reskin of the code, guys. Okay, so you pick your stuff up and you bring it to that assigned location, and those assets go to you. Now, you can sit in these areas that are contested. So the reason I'm hanging out down here near Grand Fort is not because I love it down in this area. It's because we are behind over here. The Campaign Royale is behind. We're behind by 1.3 million. Before DMC starts bragging, make sure you check up here, because y'all are behind by 1.6 million up here. So, but what I've been doing is I had been focusing on farming the settlements, which is anything within that area. It's going to give you those war assets as well as other resources as well. But you earn like 60 war assets just from a fort. Thereabouts. That's what I've been noticing. It may be more. And then the ships that you blow up are always going to be DMC coming up, so you're destroying those ships as they arrive, and that's giving you some more of those war assets as well. The asset or the war convoy that pops up, now when it shows up, it's usually, you can find it on any of the maps. It's usually spawning right in here for us in the Campaign Royale. For those that are DMC, I'm not sure where that's spawning, guys. You'll have to look for it, but it's a war convoy is what it says, and it comes across and it pays 200. So make sure that you run that stuff. Now, you don't have to run the events to make it count. You can just be sitting here blowing up DMC ships that arrive into the area. And sometimes you can really get a good wanted level and get Commodores coming in and things like that right down here. And this fort, as long as you don't accidentally shoot one of your own ships, which happens quite often, guys, it should start shooting at you. Hopefully they will come up with something that's a little more forgiving with the friendly fire, because the fort does not forgive on friendly fire. It will target you really quick. If there's a very large group of ships and you hit them with an AoE, like I was using a sandbuck on a defense over here, it does a good job with crowd control, but it does tend to damage the fort. And as soon as you hit that fort, man, that fort, it starts shooting at you and it ignores the enemy. And you may as well hang up on the defense at that time, because the only way you're going to make it out alive is if you blow up your own fort. So it's a little weird. You would think that they would have it fixed a little better, because we have those defenses within our helm already. So there's some adjustment that they've got to make there. I think they'll get it tweaked in. But once they get that tweaked, it won't be too bad. So you may be looking, going, okay, he's blowing stuff up, but I'm not seeing anything. That's because it drops. And if you're playing in a group, yes, those numbers do tend to go up. I've typically average around 20 whenever there's someone traveling with you. And you can run defenses together. Like 20 people can run a defense at a time whenever they pop up. And I love the defenses. They're fantastic. The final wave looks like, if you've been over at Wolvenhall and it extends too long and the Armada comes in, that's what it looks like. A DMC Armada arrives and they come in from this northwestern quadrant here. And you get enough of these ships sitting and you can just torpedo the heck out of the bay, man. And you're talking about some serious points really quick, blowing you through that season pass, getting you where you can get through your ranking, getting your guild marks and stuff like that. Now, the guild marks I've been earning in my leaderboard here, guys, I recognize a few of these names. There's Waldo, there's Janice. So that was kind of random. But anyway, so you can earn these, and what I've been doing is spending my guild marks to get through the pass, because there's plenty of time to run for guild marks using Wolvenhall. It doesn't take as long as it used to. They've actually trimmed Wolvenhall down quite a bit, it seems to me like, or people are just got better weapons now than they used to. But I've had some really good Wolvenhall battles, and you get your pieces of A, and of course your guild marks and stuff like that through it, earning through the infamy tree and stuff. But this is a great way to do it. Now, unfortunately, as you can see, it keeps you moving around trying to find these DMC ships. So this isn't exactly the most effective way to get those marks. But if you're looking to just have some fun, or you're playing around waiting on this thing to fix so you can run a defense, it's pretty cool to do. But like I say, it's always better to be the attacker than the offender, because you can go and attack those forts over there and just keep going round and round and round, and we can really rank it up. They've got 3 forts to attack over here, so we should be able to conquer that area, which we have up there. But we need to give a little tender love and care down here too, because they're going to end up capturing the zone. And this is the only mega fort that we have for Campaigning Royale. I don't know if people realize that or not, but yeah, so it's looking pretty cool. It's got me where I'm interested in playing the game. It's got me where I'm kind of like, it's giving me something new to grind toward. Now, I know it's stuff that we've all kind of played around with in the past, and most of us are hoping to get some of that other stuff they promised, like the extra 50 slots that we were supposed to get with our ship. I'm not sure when that's coming. I'm guessing it's like I said in that other video. I know we're all excited for Season 3, but what you got to remember is Season 3's been cut back a lot from what it was going to be for Year 2. And not only that, they didn't really specify what's coming at the middle of Season 3 and what was coming at the beginning of Season 3. So obviously there's a few things such as there's a few things that are coming later, I guess is what I'm trying to say. But the 50 hole, they've mentioned that in several streams. It didn't happen. And that's one of the things where it can be hard to make videos about what's coming in the future. So we usually just kind of wait and see what we get. But yeah, man, it seems to be a pretty good addition to it. I'm definitely looking forward to seeing where they go with it. You can tell it's a foundation, but it seems to be a pretty solid one to build some stuff on. They could build this into some guild wars and stuff later, and I imagine that's where we're heading with it. But that's going to be pretty exciting. And I definitely like the new sails with the green. That's pretty neat. As far as they're all black sails with the green, but the new hull's pretty sweet. I definitely like a lot of these new cosmetics that we got in the past. So I do recommend that you grind this stuff out. It's definitely worth grinding out. The new sloop of war, it's nice. I've got one. It's okay. I will say I'm not impressed by poison damage for NPCs. Yes, it does a little bit, but my other ships do a better job. Even with, I mean, I don't notice much coming from the poison aspect of it. So, but we're still playing around with it. I'm going to look at playing around with the rot mouth a little bit, and then I think I'm going to look at doing a torpedo build with it because they have those poison torpedoes over there at Blackwood. So now that I'm finished with the journey, it's time to start looking at more of these things that they have and playing around with some of these armors. But they've got a few armors that are pretty cool. Definitely looking forward to looking into. But y'all have a good one. I appreciate y'all watching, and hopefully it answered your questions. If you've got more questions, let me know. Like I say, there's still a few glitches here and there, but it's really not that bad. It seems to be pretty decent so far. Y'all have a wonderful evening.